What is going on, everybody? New day, new week, new slate. I am Mike, and I am here to review a watch list that we're going to get into this week. This watch list was able to create over $2,400 in profit and went 4 for 5 last week. And now we're going to review the one for possibilities going into this week. Hope everybody had a great weekend, but it's time to get back to work. So let's dive in. For those of you guys that don't know, you can find me on Simpler Trading under the Stock Mavericks. Every single week, I create this watch list to start the week on Sunday night, and on Monday morning, I review it, and we look to make money on these possibilities throughout the week. So as I go down this list, it doesn't mean I want to buy them today, but if I do like them and everything is lining up, we will go after them. So let's go down the list and let's see what we got. This week is honestly a slower week in my opinion. The last couple of weeks heated up in the cannabis sector for me personally and the Mavericks team, and that's where we're going to start off our watch list today. So I always like to organize my watch list with sector momentum first, if there's any out there. I've made most of my profit from sector momentum and staying in stocks that are hot. So finding where the volume is and trying to surround yourself in that spot. So cannabis stocks were hot last week. They were hot because Trump came out with news that he was possibly thinking of declassifying cannabis from a Schedule 3 to a Schedule 1 drug, if I'm saying that correctly, or Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. It's one or the other. Either way, I'm here to take advantage of the momentum, and that's exactly what happened. So now this week, we're going to keep an eye on this list of cannabis stocks, and we'll see if they can make a move going into this week. Now, I like to separate my cannabis stocks into two separations. We have actual listed movers, and then I have my OTC stocks that I like to look at once MSOS starts to move. So the two different sectors we got, starting with just one, or the one sector we got starting with both listed and OTCs, is CGC. We'd want to see a first green day back towards this. Friday for all of these stocks got this really ugly push down. So it wasn't until the end of the day Friday where a lot of them just ended up falling out. But it really damaged most of the runs that happened at the week. So the week looked good until Friday made a lot of them sell off. And it ended up losing most of the gains for the in the last 10 minutes. But that doesn't mean the momentum's over. So as I go down this list, what I'm going to show you is as I zoom out and look at the long-term charts, I can see that we're still holding key levels, and we've just made big runs in almost all of these stocks that I like. So the next leg would be the leg up in the next multi-month breakout. So Tilray's holding close to $1 really nicely. CGC is still coming down, but we're also holding that 130 spot. GRWG holding 142 correctly. Maybe we can get that next leg up. And then ACB is the last one that I always like to look at. And this is just an in general list, like I said. Doesn't mean go buy these stocks right away, but it's a good way to start the week instead of just showing up blind. A blind man is the hardest thing to do in trading. When you're just showing up and just trying to point darts at stuff right to start the week, it really does become overwhelming. So the last cannabis stock I put on there was BFF, and a lot of you would probably wonder, why am I saying first red day? Well, the first red day, because this stock has been running from 150 to 292, and it's breaking out of today. In my personal opinion, if cannabis does slow down, I think this could be one that really gets a big pull. So I'm not saying to do it right now, but tomorrow if we get a big pull, possibly. And then the OTC stocks, I wouldn't worry about these just yet. But if they do start to get some volume, because they did last week on Monday, and they continue to hold their Monday gains, we might be able to get that next leg up. And that's all we look for when it comes to all of these plays. You could see most of them got volume once that news came. But after that, the volume died out. But the stock didn't die. So that just could mean that with all of these, as I zoom out and show you the list that I'm going down right now, they're all dispensaries that have product, and they all are holding key levels. So we'll see if those can possibly play for this week. And then the last couple of ones, VRNOF and Planet 13, are both still holding key levels. So we'll see. That's the only sector as of right now. August is historically a slow month, and we've already had an amazing month. We've actually won 14, or it was actually 13 for 15 trades so far in the month of August with the Stock Mavericks team. So if you're interested in checking us out, we actually have a $7 monthly trial going on right now. So make sure to hit the link below in the comment section, and you can actually check us out for only $7 a month. I mean, you can do a lot with $7, right, nowadays? Just kidding. It's like a candy bar. Can't beat that. So getting into some other things we got here. Let's just jump into now my watch list. So if there isn't momentum from the cannabis sector, I still am trying to make money. It's not like I just say, let's go to bed, let's disappear. No, there's always opportunity out there, up, down, or side to side market. I'm still looking to make money. But what's key is I'm always going to play my pattern. So if you've noticed, I've always put a stock and then I've always put a pattern. And there's only 5 of my patterns that we have. But the first one I have is OPEN. We have a nice trend after holding $2. I did make this watch list on Sunday, so we already have that continuation day. But that doesn't mean we can't continue to break out, though, this week. So if we do start to base out here and don't come back below, 330, I think we might be able to make that next leg up. $4 is resistance. It just made that resistance again. Now what we look for is either tomorrow, so Tuesday, that next leg up, or we get one more consolidation and then that next leg up. But like I said, I don't want to see it come back below that 330 area. Once it does that, I'm going to start losing a little more interest. But we started the week with the pop, and now we got the hold. So can we squeeze? If you aren't familiar with OPEN, this was the meme stock that got everything running. Ended up GoPro, Krispy Kreme donuts started to run. So let's get that momentum back, hopefully. Another one that I talk about is a smaller cap stock that actually came out with huge news. Google is actually in their news. Anytime one of these smaller stocks come out with news with a larger company, it's amazing, and this stock has shown the strength. We had one day, pretty much a consolidation day, and the huge gapper. Great work for all the team members in the Mavericks room that have been able to take advantage of that. I know we had a couple people that have been watching that one the past 2 days, because the Google news actually happened 2 days ago on this day, but they came out with more Google news to break out, and that is typically one of our patterns. Another one I'm looking at is a stock that just changed tickers. They changed tickers to ETHZ. They used to be ATNF. You can still look at ATNF for the technicals, and we'd be looking for a first green day back above $7. ETHZ is that ETHZilla, and everybody saw what happened to Ethereum last week. So Ethereum seems to be hot. We're going to keep our eyes with the hot market, and that's why I'm watching ATNF, aka ETHZ now. And then the last couple of ones that we have here are listed. This one I actually like overnight here on Monday. As long as we can hold the breakout level of 1585 and 1550, I think we can have another leg up. We've seen pretty big gap ups in this stock before, and that's something I always like to see. It hasn't had breakout gap ups in the past. Yes. And then the next thing, does it have news? Which I always consider news a bonus on top. So this is a bonus. Nice to see. Made a little bit of money on another AI stock over the weekend from a first green day to second. And this is an AI stock right now. So let's see if the momentum can continue there. And then the last couple of ones, I won't take too much time on these, but BLNK has earnings. So as long as we hold $1, maybe we could finally turn back around towards that 120s. But I don't bet on earnings, so I'm going to wait for after the bell to see how they do on earnings. Vinny is the ugliest stock I've seen ever, but it used to be MULN, and when it was MULN, it was one of my most profitable stocks. The fact it came to 50 cents, I think we might be able to hold 50 cents. I'm not telling you to go buy it, but I do think this is probably a key spot, if anything. Either way, it doesn't seem like we have any key spots anytime. This doesn't trade like it used to in 2022 and 2023 when it was my most profitable stock. So I'm not thinking about it as much anymore. And then the last couple of stuff I'm looking at, XPON, we had the huge green day. Now we have one consolidation day, looking for that next leg up. Today looked promising to start the week, but we're still holding 190 and 170. As long as we hold those two areas, we still have a chance for a possible squeeze. I personally like to set up alerts. So I missed this one this morning on this pop. But now, if we can wake back up, we will see what happens there. And the last two are my shorts. I always like to put a short or two on here. Fossils number 1. I would love for this to come one more day back above 350 and then short it as it reclaimed back below 350. And then the last one that I actually put on, I meant to put Reddit, not VFF. But Reddit, looking for that push down. And it already is creating that first red day, so maybe we get that follow-up day. This morning spike was the spike to hit it. But we'll keep watching it. And then if I always finish it off with OTC stocks, it has something in my heart. I've been playing these stocks since 2016. I've been playing OTC stocks. So there's always something in my heart, man. So HGRF, we have a huge runner in OTCs right now. And it's this beautiful breakout that's been running from 20 cents to 270 all in the month of since July. So how great is that? Since July, all the way up to the 270s. Absolutely amazing move. Now we're looking for the first red day. I'm just one of those people that after it makes this big of a move, I'd rather try to catch the downside. And for those of you guys that don't know, you can actually put minus HGRAF and you can see it upside down. So if you don't short, this is a good way to look at the long side. And then closing it out, BTQQF, it's been downtrending for a while, but we're coming down to a close support level of 250. So that's where I like to try to see it bounce. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are both the housing stocks that Trump has been talking about. FMCC is officially breaking out. Maybe we get the next leg up. So I like to keep an eye on those. And then a lighter volume metal stock is where I'm going to leave you guys off with on this watch list. And that is just a newer one that's been on an uptrend, looking for the multi-month breakout. But that's where I'm going to leave our weekly watch list here today. I do this every single day in my group with the Stock Mavericks in Simpler Trading. You can click the link below for only a $7 trial that we're offering right now. We'd love to have you guys part of the team. I'll be jumping on this once a week. See you back here next Monday for another video. Peace.